mature women know.
Get the fuck out of the front of my store.
Fuck you. Fuck not here.
Yo, I'm out. Stay out of my fucking room, Stevie.
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Steven, and this is the Movie Club Podcast. Today, I'm here with my guest,
Wydell Lynch.
And we're here to discuss mid-90s, the coming-of-age story directed by Jonah Hill. Wydell, you texted me while you were watching this, and you said, this might have become one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I'm glad I told him to watch this then. I knew that you would at least enjoy this movie because you enjoy skating. You skate.
Yeah.
You skate.
Ever since I was 8.
Ever since you were 8. Younger than our young protagonist in the movie, Stevie.
Bruh.
Well, let me backtrack a little bit. Mid-90s is a coming-of-age story about a 13-year-old kid who finds friendship and family among skaters in the area. So what are your overall thoughts on this movie? Obviously, you liked it.
So, yeah, I liked it. With it being a coming-of-age story, it was right down the track that I wanted to watch. So I was hooked from the beginning. So,
Go ahead.
So hooked from the beginning. I knew it was about skateboarding, but it wasn't like just oh snap, they're doing a bunch of tricks and just busting ollies off of rails and shit. No,
Yeah.
It was like actually a tale about skateboarders, like the life of skateboarders.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you like coming of age movies, and I know you like skateboarding, so I was like, all right, you definitely got to watch this, and I'm glad that you liked it. Do you think that this movie captured like the skating culture of like the 90s or today?
Yes.
Okay. How do you think that the skate culture in this movie compares to like filmmaking culture? Let me throw a big deep question at you.
Say that again.
How do you think that
What is the meaning of life? Jesus Christ.
How do you think that skate culture and filmmaking culture are alike or different?
Alike in a way of
anything.
One way to say that they're alike, like when you're skating with friends, that's like your family. Film culture, when you're making movies or making videos with your friends, that is still your family. So like if no ifs, ands, or buts about it, it's two groups that are family.
Okay, I like that answer.
Yeah.
What I like about this movie is like 98% of the shots are locked down on a tripod. There's a lack of anything that would stand out visually that really lets you like be there in the moment with these characters in this like little slice of the world. There's like one Steadicam shot that I can really remember, but the rest are
shot.
Yeah.
That
at the party
shot was gorgeous.
Yeah. But the rest are just locked off, straight on shots. There's pans and there's zooms, but the zooms are used minimally. It feels like the movie is like the opposite of a skate video, where it's like the camera is always moving around and following the action, but and it's very much not like the last A24 movie that we watched together, Waves.
Not at all. Nope.
Check out that podcast if you haven't listened to it. Where it's like the style and the cinematography and sound design and soundtrack of Waves all really drove the film and like heightened the emotion and the moment to be there with the characters.
Yeah.
But mid-90s, all of that really just takes a backseat to the characters. I say characters because it's like the characters are really what stand out here. It's not really like the story. The story's pretty loose.
Yeah. Just a kid wanting to learn a kid wanting to find himself and find someone he can be around.
Yeah. I mean, and he says at one point to his brother in the movie, I'm trying to keep it non-spoilers at the moment. He says at one point to his brother during the movie, like he has no friends or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that Stevie also doesn't seem to have any friends before he finds his group.
Nah.
And I read a little bit of the screenplay, which is available online, and which I will try to give and put in the description.
Yeah.
But in the screenplay, it's a little different. The movie starts out different. It shows like two other kids with Stevie that are like his friends, but they're more best friends with each other, and Stevie's more like the third wheel. You know what I mean?
Okay, so is that from like that one shot where he's walking down the street and he sees those two kids playing with the water guns outside?
No, this is. I think this is more of a I think that shot was more of a, it's like, damn, I don't have any friends kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But that was basically what there was a scene where it's like these Stevie and the two other kids were playing with like their Beyblades, if you guys remember those, at lunch.
Even 90s?
I don't know. It was something like Beyblades. I think it was something made up in the screenplay.
Okay.
But they were like playing with each other, and then like they were like, yeah, you'll have a chance to win back this thing that you won tonight. And then Stevie's like, tonight, y'all hanging out tonight? And they're like, yeah, he's coming over to my place for a sleepover. And Stevie's like, oh damn. And then feeling like left out and shit.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, yeah, my mom would only let one friend over to sleep over tonight.
I remember those nights.
Yeah. So it was like him feeling left out, and like he didn't have any friends.
Nights.
Yeah. But I think this movie, I don't know, it feels better without something like that in it. It's like you kind of just see that he doesn't have a place. It's like that kind of scene in there to show like his friends don't even include him and everything. Doesn't really need it. Because I feel like the movie visually shows that, like with that one shot that you were just talking about, with the two kids playing with the water guns, like in the first like 5 minutes. Some movie. Oh God, hold on. Other A24 movies that I would compare this to, definitely not Waves.
No,
it's more like the Florida Project and Eighth Grade mixed together.
8th grade, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Florida Project yet.
Those movies are. The Florida Project is more focused on the characters and like more. It's definitely a lot more loot. It's God.
Who produced Boy?
Boy, that was Taika Waititi. He directed that.
Not Boy.
Boyhood.
I think it was Boyhood.
Boyhood, the movie that's Richard Linklater. The movie that was like filmed over like 13 years of the kids.
Yeah, so it kind of put me in the mindset of that.
See, I feel like for me, this movie felt like. I mean, I see what you're saying. This movie felt more focused than Boyhood for me, though.
Definitely, just because you have a movie that has been spaced out for 13 years.
Yeah,
compared to this is just like, this is like a few months that during that time that he went to the the Harry Potter thing. And a kid watching his mom get beat.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I get that.
Yeah, this is very much. I feel it's more structured.
Yeah.
Than like the Florida Project, which is very good, and I would recommend you to watch that. I think you might like that.
I'll check that out.
You liked 8th Grade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would.
It was extremely corner, but yeah.
But this movie is less
corny and more serious about the fact that it's definitely two different takes on the same age range.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's less stylistic. That I think this movie is probably the least stylized out of the A24 movies that I've watched. I mean, but then also it's like its lack of style is kind of a style.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I mean, I guess I would say that this movie is like the Full Letter Project in 8th grade put together, but less stylized, and it's less like Ladybird or Boyhood. Have you seen Ladybird?
Yeah.
People have said like this movie is Ladybird for boys.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think so.
Ladybird already. What?
Yeah,
these are two like different movies right now.
Right? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I completely reject that statement right there.
It's like trying to even think about how they could compare. Besides, both being coming of age stories.
Yeah. I also wouldn't say for a movie that is titled mid-90s, I wouldn't say this like really feels like a 90s movie. It's not like a nostalgia trip like Stranger Things or Summer of '84. It's not like trying to put like, hey, this is like the 90s like in your face, which I appreciated.
Which like the only times you ever recollect that it's really the 90s is when you go into Lil Dude's bedroom, his brother's bedroom, his brother's clothing style.
Yeah.
Because everything, like, if you go into a skate shop, that skate shop looks exactly like it did in the 90s right now.
Yeah.
Minus more posters or more decks. That's about it. Like, there's going to be a couch right there and people are going to be watching skate videos. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly. So like I said, I appreciate that it wasn't like
this is a 90s movie.
Yeah,
watch it.
It's like, they're eating Go-Gurt and stuff. It's like
cowabunga, dude. No.
Yeah, exactly. No, you can't say that because like the skateboard did have the cowabunga on there.
That was
but they weren't like, whoa, smash zoom on the cowabunga, and it's not like, I don't know.
It's not like, don't forget this is a 90s movie.
Right.
This is supposed to be a 90s. What's the word? Oh my gosh, I can't think of the word.
Time capsule?
Like you said, like it wasn't a nostalgia trip.
Yeah, it wasn't a nostalgia trip. It's not
period
like
there we go.
Yeah, it's not like a period piece.
It wasn't
they weren't like walking past the movie theater and the marquee said like Home Alone. It's not like or something. It's not like thrown in your face like that.
Never forget that this is 90s.
Yeah. And I appreciate that. I think that what Jonah Hill did here was
very subtle.
It's very subtle, very laid back. Which I appreciate. Yeah. Let's get into spoilers.
Oh wait, okay. Woo! Here we go, guys. Get ready for this nonsense.
Right, go ahead. Say what you want. Say what you got to say.
I love this movie. Like straight up. So, with the sense of it being a 90s piece, everything that had to do with 90s that you could pick up on, like if you knew anything about or if you grew up in the 90s, like you can pick up on it very quickly.
Yeah.
All the Super Nintendo stuff, all the Ninja Turtle stuff. Like Ninja Turtles was huge back then.
Right.
His brother had every freaking pair of J's that probably came out back then. I don't know how or why.
It didn't seem like they were a rich family.
Yeah, they had money somewhere. I don't know how.
And the mom noticed when like the $80 were stolen.
Bruh.
So it seems like, I mean, maybe.
What, like, I'm assuming the brother was a drug dealer at one point in time, but then it was just like, nah, he's just a teenage boy. Like his room compared to his brother's room, off rip. Total difference.
Yeah.
It looked like his mom spent way more money on one kid than she did on the other.
But wait, you're saying that Ian's room was better or Stevie's room was better?
Ian's room was better.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's like he has that little talk with Stevie where he's like, yeah, mom was a lot different when you were, and then
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
came around. So I'm guessing that's where all that money went. It went into Ian, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have another kid." So she
Hell,
just drew
so
back.
everything you used to have, give it to your little brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about Ian and Stevie's relationship?
So I grew up with two cousins who I was literally the punching bag for. So it was just like, oh shit, I connect with that. And
Yeah.
when they left, I was in their room playing with all their shit, making sure to put it back in the exact order that I left it,
Yeah.
and then run back to my room when they got home. So it's just like, I completely understand the dynamic of the two. Like, he wanted to have a better relationship with his brother.
Yeah.
No,
go ahead.
he wanted a better relationship with his brother, and in the sense, he didn't get that from his brother, so he found an older group to hang out with that basically took the place of his brother.
Yeah. The group really did become friends. At first, they were like friends and people he was looking up to, but then they did become more like family, and they were there in the hospital with him and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and they're still more like family, even at the end than Ian was. Yeah.
Bruh.
It's funny in the screenplay how it starts off is it's kind of a scene like you were talking about with Stevie. He was like went to his brother's room and like put on the cologne and then like put it back exactly where it was and then walked out, and then they like as they were passing each other like not even noticing each other, and then Ian like smells the cologne on Stevie, and that's what starts the fight. Which is, it's funny because like all of that is like cut out, and it's just like the first second just starts with like Stevie hitting a wall.
Bruh, that was hilarious.
And I was like,
what the hell just happened?
But then it also passes a point at one point for me of like uncomfortableness, because like Ian is just like wailing on him.
You talking about that part where he comes into his room with the mask on?
No, I was talking about the boy. No. That reminded me of the Stanley Kubrick movie. No, I was watching the war movie. Damn it. Pause.
I might end up watching this movie before the day's over with again.
You're gonna watch it again? You said it's a good movie, and it's short. It's short. The scene that you were talking about reminded me of the scene in Full Metal Jacket where they all came in and with like bars of soap in their pillows and like beat the guy. That's what that scene reminded me of. Well, like when Ian was getting beat up by Steve in the middle of the night. So
the first 5 seconds of the movie.
No. The scene that you were talking about where he comes in with a mask and beats him. But I was thinking of it feels a little uncomfortable when it's like Ian is like wailing on him, like when he's in the kitchen and he's like when Steve comes home drunk. Okay. And he's like beating on him, and then Ian like wails like loud. He's like screaming. Bruh. That was I was like, he's gonna hurt this kid, because like he's I was like, I feel like no one has actually said to Ian before like, you're a loser, you don't have any friends and all that other shit. So I was like, and then him hearing that from his younger brother who
hurt that man more than anything.
yeah and and seeing him have so many friends, Ian seeing Stevie have so many friends, and
he felt some type of way.
Yeah, he felt some type of way, and I think and that's why he hurt Stevie.
Right. The fact that so whoever the foliage artist was on this, they used the wrong hits on this, because it literally sounds like he's killing this child.
Yeah, no,
he's getting hit.
I think that's on purpose, because it's like it's made to sound like uncomfortable, or like it doesn't sound cartoonish or like or anything. It sounds like
it sounds real plus more.
It's grounded. One of the sound designers from this movie, he worked on War of the Worlds. He worked on Insomnia, Ocean's 11, The Green Mile. He's worked on a lot. Interstellar, Gravity.
That was a great movie.
So it's like,
gravity.
yeah, so it's like all of those sounds, the punches and everything like that was definitely in there intentionally to make it sound more realistic.
Shit, it worked.
Yeah,
It definitely worked.
and I think that might have been why I felt so uncomfortable in that one moment. I mean, that might have added to it in the moment. I think there's why I think that there's pockets of this movie where the sound design really help drive the emotion and the feeling that the director's trying to get across. But it's I wouldn't say that it drives the film, and it's not like the soundtrack and everything.
The soundtrack was it literally was the characters and the story. And that nigga with the foliage. I'm sorry. Some of the foliage.
The Foley.
Some of the Foley. Fuck. Shaquise, take out every time I said Foley. And I mean foliage and just put Foley. 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 Foley.
He does that. That would be lovely. Not gonna do that. What else do I have to say?
Bro, I'm watching the scene where he just walked into his brother's room. Like, this man's room was awesome. I wanted this room as a kid. Like, the hell?
Yeah, his room was nice. I like how wholesome Stevie was at the beginning, and then he was just like trying to fit in and everything. And then I hate how Ruben took advantage of that. I was like, oh my God, I did not like him.
So like from the get-go of Stevie walking to when they're in that skate session. Yeah. And just sitting down and just watching. Like, that actually happens. So like you go to the skate park and you're just like, oh shit, I ain't that good yet. So I'm just gonna sit here and watch how good y'all are. Really? And then you just have someone come up and it's like, hey, you gonna skate with it? You gonna skate? Or literally go fill this up. That was the funniest shit ever. Really? Okay. I didn't know that. Huh. So it's I've never been to a skate park. Like, going to a skate park literally is everybody is trying to practice. So it's like, no one's going to be like, oh shit, you suck. They might pick on you when you skate, but that's only there that's, what is it called? That reinforcement. I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah. It's basically there to make you get better. Right. Yeah. Okay. I see that. This movie makes me want to go to a skate park. Bro, skate parks are fun. One of the lines that stuck out most to me was at the end when Ray was like, you literally take the hardest hits out of everyone I've ever seen in my life. And you don't have to. You know you don't have to do that, right? I was like, oh God. Oh God. Jonah Hill, why'd you do that? Oh my God. It's funny that you say that the skateboarding is the skate culture in this movie is captured really well. Yeah. Because Jonah Hill said in an interview, he was like, skateboarding and hip hop are misused in movies, and he was like, this movie I set out to use it correctly. And definitely did portray it as. I don't even remember any of the soundtrack of this movie. It didn't stick out to me at all. No, same. But I think that's the point. I mean, it seems like it's the point for Jonah Hill for really just put it as like in the background. You got anything else to say about the movie? I feel like we talked more about the brothers' relationship than we talked about the skateboard. It's all right, because I mean, the brothers' relationship, that was kind of the main reason of why he stepped out and started skateboarding in the first place. Right, it's the catalyst of the events that happened in the movie. I'm glad they actually used real skateboarders and not just actors that they paid to learn how to skateboard. That was great. What else? Oh, let's talk about one quick thing. What was his name? Come on, cast. Where you at? So Ray and Stevie's relationship,
Mm-hmm.
that was just amazing because if you remember that one scene where Stevie's mom just came in and just cussed them little niggas out for
Yes.
all that shit. Stevie's just in the car telling her to shut the fuck up, which made me want to beat that little nigga's ass.
Yeah, that was.
Sorry, I'm using the slur.
It's all right.
So
I mean, that then brings me back to when. Remember that thought. It reminds me when I was watching this. I was watching it with my fiance Morgan, and afterward, I was like, "What did you think?" And she was like, "The use of the N word written by Jonah Hill made me uncomfortable. Like the amount of N words that were used in the movie, because it's like, I mean, that's a common thing. It's like with like Quentin Tarantino, he gets a lot of drawback
for it, yeah.
He gets a lot of flack for it, and Jonah Hill has been in he was in Django Unchained, playing a member of the KKK. Funny enough, and the only person that really says the N-word in the movie is
either Ray or fuck shit.
Yeah, and in the script, there's 41 uses of the word.
Yo. He said there was 41, so Jonah Hill said nigga 41 times.
He probably didn't say it. He wrote it. I mean, he said it in his head.
He said
in order
in
to
his
write
head.
it. Yeah. But yeah. I mean, but then also there's the use of the F word in here, which I read that he shot a scene where it's like the crew is talking about whether they should even be using the word or not, and then he showed it to the producer because Jonah Hill had the thought of like they probably shouldn't be saying this or whatever, but then the producer was like, would you have had this conversation when you were younger? And he was like, no. He was like, so don't put it in the movie. He was like, it would be more offensive if you put it in the movie to be like, oh, well, should we be saying this? I mean, and it wouldn't have made sense for the characters to do that, giving what the characters say and whatever.
I mean, as a 13-year-old boy, I didn't use fuck as much as I do now, but
yeah, no, I was talking about the other F word. Yeah, that word. Yeah. No, that
because
word.
That's the first thing Ruben comes up to him is like, don't say thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I understand that. He said, no, not that F word. The other one.
No, the other F word. So yeah, I thought that was what were you saying before I cut you off?
So the relationship between Stevie and Ray.
Oh yeah. Ray is that friend that everyone needs.
Bruh, who are you telling? Like, oh my gosh. That man was like, I want to keep you out of trouble even if you don't want to be out of trouble. Like,
yeah, like Stevie was getting drunk at the end and at the skate park while Ray was talking and like keeping his eye on the professionals.
Yeah.
And then even doing that and like having that in his mind, he was like, hey Stevie, give me that. You're done.
Yeah.
You're done. Stop
like on the
drinking.
Train when fuck shit gave Stevie Adderall, it was just like, man, come on, niggas. Y'all ain't got that shit.
Stevie, Ray is really that friend that we all need.
It's like he lost his little brother, so he sees Stevie as basically his little brother at that moment.
Yeah.
And then
he's taking care of him.
Yeah, and Stevie sees him as his older brother because out of all of them, Stevie looked up to Ray more than any of them.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, yeah, fuck shit can skate great.
But Ray
Ruben brought me in, sure. But Ray, yeah.
He's like the master.
Yeah.
And he is.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to go to what the people thought. On Rotten Tomatoes, this has the critic score is 80% and the audience score is 80%, which I have never seen that both of the numbers be the same before, both percentages. I think it's interesting that
some downfalls of why it was only 80.
I don't know. I would give this movie an 8 out of 10. That's my score.
You said an 8 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Jesus Christ.
What would you give it? A 10?
I mean,
10?
it's not Lords of Dogtown, but that's gonna get a 10 out of 10 every day.
I think if I watch it more, I think if I watch it again, I don't think it'll lower. I think it would definitely.
It's definitely better than The Skateboard Kid. If you've never seen that movie, it is a 90s movie where a kid makes a talking skateboard out of an old busted boombox.
I didn't know that movie existed. And I kind of wish I didn't. I wish you didn't just say that.
I'm gonna need you to look that up.
I'm gonna move on. Like we never had this conversation. Jonah Hill hasn't announced his next project, which is I'm looking forward to whatever he directs next and whatever he writes next. It's kind of weird that this movie came out 2 years ago, and he hasn't. I mean, it's not weird, but I mean, apparently it took him years to write this, so maybe it'll take him a long time before he directs again.
One thing I also noticed about this movie, it is in 4:16 this whole time.
Yeah, it's in 4:3. The aspect ratio.
Yeah,
it's in 4:3 the whole time.
It's in 4:3 this whole time.
Yeah,
which is freaking legitness because it's it's supposed to be at 90s.
Right.
That is amazing to me.
Yeah, not a lot of movies stay in that aspect ratio the entire time. I think Grand Budapest Hotel does that the whole time.
That did.
That's the only one that sticks in my mind. That's popular. Are you looking forward to Jonah Hill's next project?
After seeing this, yeah.
All right.
Definitely seeing what he can pull out with. As long as it's not, what's another Jonah Hill movie that's him acting in?
It could have been easy for this movie to become a stoner comedy, or for
it was not a stoner comedy.
Stoner comedies, but he didn't, and I'm glad he did this.
For it to come from Jonah Hill and be serious as it was, even though there was funny moments,
there was humor in it. It's definitely not. I wouldn't call this a dramedy. I would call this a drama over anything.
You said a dramedy?
A dramedy. I wouldn't call this a drama.
Word?
Yeah. Wow. Drama and comedy put together. I definitely wouldn't call this a dramedy. I would say that this is more of this is definitely a drama. Definitely a drama. You got anything else?
Definitely give it a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. All right. I give it a 8 out of 10. You can give it a 10 out of 10. You don't got to give it a 9 out of 10.
I give it a 10 out of 10. I'm watching it now. I can't even lie. I keep looking up at the TV like, what scene are we in right now?
The more we talk about it, the more it makes me want to watch it again. I think the next time I watch it.
It's a really great movie. Like, I still remember as a child, well, not as a child, I still remember being in the skate park, smoking a cigarette, waiting for somebody to get off the bike. Like, dude. This is definitely a great movie.
I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and I hope that our listeners enjoyed listening to this podcast. Thank you for joining.
That kid off who keeps laughing all the time.
I don't think they're going to say that. Thank you for joining me, Wydell.
Thank you for the invite. If you have any other movie recommendations, let me know.
Oh, I got you.
If we can record this and this one works out perfectly fine, like, I am down to do this all the time.
I got you.
I just don't like scary movies, you know.
All right. So if you're looking forward to a horror movie review with Wydell, then you will be sadly disappointed. But
I will do a horror movie review if we get over 1,000 likes. So hit that like and subscribe. And
over 1,000 likes, and you'll do one horror movie.
Likes,
you do one horror movie. Okay, that's.
I'll do I'll do
like
1.
10. 1,000 likes, and you'll do 10.
I'll do 4 for 1,000 likes.
That doesn't even. When did you get the number 4? Not even 5. All right. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for listening. Make sure you join us here next Wednesday, where I will have another guest, and we'll talk about another movie. I hope you'll join us. And now listen to Trey's outro. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.
I'm Wydell. See ya. This man Steven is a fool.
You think you're tough and shit? You're just a little fucking kid.
A lot of the time, we feel like our lives are the worst. But I think if you looked at anybody else's closet, you wouldn't trade your shit for their shit. So let's go.
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure that you check out the other shows that we have on the Facebook, the other main podcast that comes out every other Tuesday. Make sure you leave a like, share it with your friends and your family. Go check out our YouTube where we have content from other Production 1200 works. And make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We post sometimes there. We'll do more. We'll try. Maybe. Like us on iTunes podcast, rate and review. Give us them 5 stars. And we'll see you next time.